שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לה יאללה לה לה לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לה יאללה לה לה לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
And I think what's so wonderful and unique about us is our family is made up of so many different places. You go to shul in Houston and everybody's from Houston. Here, nobody's from anywhere else. We have from all over the place, and that's what's so wonderful. I'm not going to start listing them because I'll leave one out. But when you introduce yourselves, it's wonderful because you're from everywhere that's really hot now. So it's good. We have that. Let's continue. Shalom Aleichem as we welcome the angels of peace.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Barchuni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. V'melech malachei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon.
And as the pilgrims approached Jerusalem, they lifted their eyes to the mountains. They said, Esainai Eleha Harim, as we have in front of us here. We'll join together, page 12. In the old days, there weren't as many music conferences that one could go to. You would just show up at something and it would be Lewandowski or something else that they usually would sing. But we're so fortunate that our cantor goes to 3 conferences to bring back new music. So Nava Tehillah is our next one. Tell me about this. Nava Tehillah for Lecha Dodi.
Yeah, so remember we had Yoel Sykes came to visit our synagogue, and he's one of the members of Nava Tehillah. And I was also had the opportunity to go on tour with them, which was really fun, filling in for their female lead singer. And this was one of Eliana's suggestions. So here's a fun Lecha Dodi.
Page 16, we're going to join together. We'll welcome the Sabbath bride.
Yes, please. It goes like this. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela. Just like that. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela. Let's do that again. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Yishmianu el ha-meyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, le'shemo tiferet ve'lichila. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor ha-beracha. Merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ta'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Mikdash melech, ir melucha, kumitzei mitoch ha'hapecha, ravach shevet be'yamecha b'chag, ve'hu yechamol alayichem glad. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela.
At the bottom of page 18, we rise, face the rear of the sanctuary as we greet the Sabbath bride.
Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, gam besimcha u'b'tzahala, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, boi chala. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nekavela.
May be seated. I have to be very careful that when we have such great musicians up here that the Groblowskis are going to say, we're going to take them all to Virginia Beach, but you got to let them come back, okay?
Yeah, that's easier for her than Vail. So.
Right. Let's turn to page 21 at the top of the page. Psalm 92, entitled "The Song for the Sabbath Day," sung first recited in the temple in Jerusalem. It is good to give thanks to you, O Lord, to praise your name through song, to speak in the morning of your loving kindness and your faithfulness each night. Music of the lute and the harp, melody of the lyre, I'll sing with my delight. As we continue the bottom of page 20.
I want to invite us, something that I was sharing in the session that we did together was about how if a melody is not familiar, it can be hard to get into it if we don't know it already. But if a melody is really familiar, then it's very easy to sing it kind of on autopilot, right? And not maybe paying attention to what is happening in the moment with this melody. And so I want to invite us to sing this, but a little slower, and maybe mostly just our voices. And I want to invite you into this melody like you've never sung it before. Sati katamar ifrach keres balvanon Shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu Hod Yenun Beselah Deshenim Verananim Lehagid Ki Ashar Adonai Suri Velo, slow down, Avata Bo.
Rav Nachman of Bratzlover was living in the 18th century. He was the great-grandson of the Baal Shem Tov, who was also the founder, really, of the Hasidic movement. He always combined Kabbalah with Torah, speaking with God, he says, as if God is your friend. So we continue on page 22 with Nachman's prayer.
And this is the melody.
Who wrote this?
My friend Eliana
Oh,
wrote
right
this.
here.
Uh-huh. My friend Eliana wrote this for us at B'nai Vail. She wrote this song for B'nai Vail, and this was when you were challenging yourself to see if you could write a song every day, right?
Yeah, it didn't last very long. Let's be honest, I got 2 great songs out of it, and one of them was this. But I don't get to sing it, so I'm really excited.
And we do, so we get to do this with Eliana, and it's a very exciting moment for us. Ya-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da, 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 ya-da-da-da-da.
Page 22.
Adonai, grant me the ability to be alone. May it be my custom to go outdoors each day, among the trees and grass, among all growing things. There to be alone and enter into prayer. There may I express all that is in my heart, talking with God, to whom I belong. And may all grasses, trees, and plants awake at my coming. Send the power of their life into my prayer, making whole my heart and my speech through the life and spirit of all growing things, made whole by their transcendent source. Oh, that they would enter into my prayer. Then would I open my heart in prayer, and then, oh God, would I pour out the words of my heart before your presence. Ya-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da, 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 ya-da-da-da-da.
So what I'd like you to do is go back to Beth Yeshurun in Houston, or your congregation in Austin, and say, go up to the rabbi and say, we'd like to sing Rav Nachman's prayer. Can we do that tonight? He'll say, I don't know that. Well, then you need to come to Vail. You can learn the song.
True.
So thank you for writing that. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
The canners are leaving us. You're always the first ones in the seats. How can you not be the first ones? We're glad, but I know. But we'd like to honor you. Page 23, that wonderful reading from the Boston Globe, just for today, if you'd read it for it. Lead us in this. Thank you.
Just for today, I will live one day only, forgetting yesterday and tomorrow, and not trying to solve the whole problem of life at once. Today, I will be unafraid of life and death, unafraid to enjoy the beautiful and the happy. People are as happy as they make up their minds to be. Just for today, I will adjust myself to what is and not try to adjust everything to suit me. If I cannot have what I like, I will try to like what I have. Today, be agreeable, cheerful, charitable, do my best praise for what they can do, not criticize them for what they cannot do. And if I find fault, I will forgive it and forget it. I will try not to improve and regulate anybody except myself. Just for today, I will have a plan. I may not follow it exactly, but I will have one. It will save me from worry, hurry, and indecision. Today, I'll get people off my nerves and not get on theirs. I will appreciate them for what they do and what they are. Just for today, I will not show it if my feelings are hurt. Just for today, I will find a little time for quiet, to relax, and to realize what life is and can be.
Time to think about God and better
to get a better perspective of myself.
myself.
Just for today, I will look at life with fresh eyes and discover the wonder of it. I will know that as I give it to the world, so the world will give it to me.
And Mazel Tov on the baby girl, grandchild. Her name?
Mila Tatiana.
I love it. Mazel Tov. Congratulations. Well, we return to our prayer books. We'll turn to page 24 as we rise and continue with our call to worship and join together in the Baruch Hu.
Calling ourselves and each other into this holy community. You might know this melody by now. Oh, ay, na, 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 do. Oh, ay, na, 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 Hay-ya-da-da-da-do. Hay-hay-hay-hay-ya-da-da. Baruch Hu et Adonai. Hay-ya-da-da-da-da. Hay-hay-hay ha-mevorach. Baruch Adonai ha-mevorach le'olam va'ed. Oh, hay-ya-da-da-da-do. Oh, hay-ya-da-da-da-do. Hay-ya-da-da-da-do. Hay-hay-hay-hay-ya-da-da. Hay-ya-da-da-da-do. 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 Hay-hay-hay-hay-ya-da-da.
You may be seated. What's so wonderful about being here, of many things that are wonderful, is we're not surrounded by buildings and honking cars. If a car honks their horn, you wonder, are they from New York? We're just surrounded by the beauty of nature. And that's what God's wondrous creations is about. Page 28 at the bottom of the page, as we continue responsively. As we join together on this Shabbat Eve, we join in the greatness of God's creations. As the snow melts from the mountain peaks on high, let our worries of the week flow away. As the mountain springs give forth fresh water, let our souls feel refreshed. The creeks join streams and become the great rivers. Let our faith and love grow stronger. And as we stand in awe of the great beauty of the Rocky Mountains, let our faith in God increase and renew. And let this Shabbat be a time of peace. Top of page 28 as we continue. You have loved your people Israel with unceasing love. Ahavat Olam.
Beautiful. It's so easy to feel God's presence here, isn't it? It's so easy to feel like you must be part of something greater than yourself. At least for me, I feel, well, I didn't make that stream. I didn't make those mountains. I was born into a world that already existed. I actually had to do very little. And from there, perhaps comes a feeling of gratitude or of awe or of wonder. Easier to do here than it is in some other places. But that's why prayer is a practice, you know. Sometimes I think these words even get in the way as much as I love the words. The God word can be challenging for me, and I wonder what it means to feel the love of God. But these prayers are inviting us to practice feeling love or gratitude or awe or whatever it is. And there's a difference to me between saying the words on the page and praying and inviting ourselves into that place. No matter what that GD word means to you, I like to spell it with a question mark, but that's a conversation for another time. So I want to invite you maybe to sit up a little straighter in your seat. Feel your feet flat on the floor. Maybe roll your shoulders back. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. You can even let your face soften, or your hands to come to your lap. Maybe even close your eyes if you would like. And as Michelle and I sing these words of Ahavat Olam that our ancestors prayed, I invite you to call to mind a source of unconditional love in your life. Could be a person, could be a pet, could be a moment, could be a mountain. I invite you to bring a source of unconditional life into your heart and to feel yourself full of that love. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavata. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Let it wash over you. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shokveinu uvkumeinu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratech tasir mimenu leolamim. Filling our heart with that love. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Ernie, this has always been your moment. We're going to turn in our prayer books to page 30. You were our bar mitzvah boy like 5 years ago. And you're going to lead us in Shema. This will take you back to those days when you were so nervous reading Torah. You're fine. Let's join together. Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod, Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. We'll throw candy one more time. It's good. Thank you.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shavtecha u'v'kumecha u'v'shartam le'od al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'yisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Well, on this Shabbat evening, we seek peace and comfort, and we ask that you shield us from hatred and destruction that plagues so many corners of the world. Console those in need. The top of page 34 is we're going to join together. Hashkivenu.
Starting with a couple of words in English that I started singing to myself as a prayer a couple of years ago when I needed that shelter. And then realizing that my spiritual ancestors were so smart, they put the prayers about order and shelter and comfort at night, right? When the sun starts to set and perhaps we become more worried. Certainly our shepherd ancestors, before the invention of electricity, the night was a pretty scary place. And our ancestors knew that. And so they gave us this gift of this ask. Our ask. Shelter us in place, shelter us in peace, shelter us in love, shelter us in love. Try that with me. Shelter us in place, shelter us in place, shelter us in peace, shelter us in peace, shelter us with love, shelter us in love, shelter us in love. Shelter us in love. Hashkivenu, Ya Eloheinu. The name of God that is breath, Ya. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Hashkivenu, Ya Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Ya Eloheinu. Hashkivenu. Shalom. Shelter us in place, shelter us in peace, shelter us in peace, in love, shelter us in love, in love, shelter us in love, shelter us in place, shelter us in peace, shelter us in love, shelter us in love. Hashkivenu, Ya Eloheinu, Hashkivenu l'shalom, Hashkivenu l'shalom, Hashkivenu, Ya Eloheinu, Hashkivenu l'shalom.
There are those in our community who are in need of healing of body, mind, or spirit. If you have a loved one or person in your life who's in need of healing, please feel free in just a moment to share their name aloud as we continue with Misha Baruch, page 38, our prayer for healing.
Misha Baruch Lavotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
We offer prayers for full healing to Gail Balin, Sue Beiser, Carol Ann Finn, Jane Friedman, and Betty Ann Gaynor, Deborah Goldman, Lori Hellman, Mike Herman, Karen Ellen Hirschberg, Ra'ea Ivri, Donald Jaffe, and Harriet Jaffe, Warren Janowitz, Mary Sue Katz, Herman Keek, Renee Myers, Stephen Reese, Chip Ruth, Roberta Scheller, Lynn Eileen Schiller, Sam Schwartz, Bill Silvers, and B. Sklarowitz, Dina Stempler, Maury Strauss, and Mickey Winokur. Thank you. Thank you.
Misha Baruch Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Page 40, at the top of the page, we rise and continue with the Reader's Kaddish.
Yitkada ve'yitkadash shemei rabba.
Amen.
Ve'alma divra kirtei ve'amlich machutei.
B'chayecha yomechon u'chayedecha Beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, u'bizman kari.
Ve'yimru.
Amen.
Yesh me'rabba mevarach, le'olam u'le'omei omaya, yitzbarach.
Yitzbarach v'yishtabach. Yitpa'ar v'yitroma v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal. Shemeda Kudsha,
Brichu.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata.
Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran li'alma.
Ve'imiru.
Amen. Be not afraid of silence. It's more powerful than the unpolished word. It allows God's voice to be heard and allows tears and doubt to tumble out. Page 42, we continue Adonai Svatai, and then silently through page 57.
Anananananana Adonai. Ananananana Svatai Tiftach. Ananananana Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Ananananana Svatai Tiftach. Ananananana Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Ananananana Svatai Tiftach. Ananananana Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Ananananana Adonai. Ananananana Svatai Tiftach. Ananananana Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha.
May be seated when you've completed the Amida. When our cantor is away on occasion, we're so fortunate that she has so many musical friends, so you don't have to listen to me sing alone. And we've had Cheryl multiple times come. Please come up. So many times that you've come to sing for us, and we'll have our little trio here. As we join together our prayer for peace on page 54, join together Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
Thank you. Welcome back. Well, Barbara Streisand once said in an interview that she said, "I don't feel like a legend, I feel like I'm a work in progress." And that's a complicated truth, I think, about human life, that we're all works in progress. Because life is, well, it's not like an algebra problem where there's always the simple answer waiting for the one who knows how to go through all the steps to solve it. Life is far messier, and all of us at some time of our lives, I think we've all started a new task or a new relationship with zeal. Sometimes we abandon that in midstream and we change course. Well, one of the earliest texts that I ever studied, it was back in my USY days with Danny Siegel, who was kind of a poet. And it was Pirkei Avot, also known as Ethics of the Fathers. But I was fascinated because this collection of rabbinic wisdom, it was written in the 2nd century, but what it made it different from all the other things that we read and study in the text in the Talmud, it's almost all of the Mishnah, the oral laws that are explained in the Talmud. Well, it's these laws that are instructions to Jews who lived after the destruction of the Second Temple. The Mishnah tells us, it told us how to live a life and observe rabbinic Judaism. Biblical law was gone. The temple worship and sacrifices were now a thing of the past. So questions throughout the Talmud are discussed, like kashrut and marriage and divorce and what you can do and not do on Shabbat. But Pirkei Avot was different because it talked about how to become a better person. And at the end of the 2nd chapter of Pirkei Avot comes that piece of wisdom that every one of us, I think, can understand, where Rabbi Tarfon said, Lo alecha hamlacham ligmor, it's not your obligation to finish the work, v'lo ataven chorin libatel mimena, but neither are you at liberty to neglect it. So this piece of wisdom was written to guide us through, I think, the most challenging times. And I know I've thought about this multiple times, that when I'm facing a particularly daunting situation, when I was dropped like at a forward operating base in the desert of Iraq or landed on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier, the task at hand, my mission, it was daunting. Because I reminded myself that the only way I could tackle this seemingly insurmountable project was to take a little at a time, do one day at a time, and then keep moving forward. I think those words, Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor, it's not your obligation to finish the work, but neither are you at liberty to neglect it. But if we look back in Jewish history, we can find that the great Jewish leaders who died before they completed their projects of their lives, like Moshe Rabbeinu, our teacher Moses, he was only able to see the promised land from across the Jordan River. King David, well, he had his heart set on building the Beit HaMikdash, the temple in Jerusalem, but he could not do so. Our matriarch Rachel, well, she died in childbirth while on the road to Ephrat. Neither reached her destination, nor did she ever know her son Benjamin. And finally, that Zionist visionary Theodor Herzl died in 1903. He was only 44 years old, but he had set in motion the forces that would yield the Jewish state 45 years later. So the number of years is not necessarily the measure of success. A successful life is not necessarily dependent upon a long life. And the seeds that we plant, well, it's the fruit which is long after we're gone. We arguably, I think that the better the measure, more ambitions, our mission, our goals, our hopes, that's what really determines the success of our failure in our life, and it's not the length. When we reflect on the lives of those great historical figures, we might want to recall how they lived and what they lived for and the values they strived to teach through their actions. Now, that was who they were, and we should be grateful that even though Moses, well, he never made it to Israel, he was always and always will be Moshe Rabbeinu, our teacher. And even though Herzl's buried in Jerusalem, well, in the modern capital of a state that he imagined but he never saw, he'll always be the one who made it happen, Lo alecha hamlacha ligmor. It's not up to you to finish the task, because really what they're teaching us is you cannot. You cannot, because that's the nature of humanity. We have to be willing to live with the fact that our lives are an ongoing road trip. It's never going to quite reach the destination. We have side roads, we have dead ends, and we occasionally get lost. So then they ask the question, so what do we do? It's not hopeless. We can reach out more fully and completely and try to make a difference. We can try to move the needle just by one life that you might touch. Now, I've tried to bring a fresh breath of Judaism into lives that I may not even know, yet knowing that occasionally I'm just going to miss the mark. But all of us, I think every one of us, can teach our children and grandchildren, Lo aleichem hamlacha ligmor. It's not up to them to finish the task. V'lo atem v'nei chorin libatel mimena. But neither are any of them at liberty to neglect it. Well, we have quite the weekend. Are you doing anything tomorrow?
No, are you doing anything tomorrow?
No, not me. I'm just going to have breakfast and then go back to bed. So, well, we have that great service tomorrow. So I hope you'll join us. I know many of you marked your calendars for both of the mountaintops. We already have them booked for the next 2 years to make sure that we don't lose the wedding deck. So the Saturday after the 4th of July next year, and then the first weekend in August next year. If you're looking at getting good plane airfares, this is the time to look and see when you're coming back to join us. We love having you. And we have the 2 authors that are coming with the Vail Symposium is incredible. It's over 200 people have already signed up to hear the 2 of them. And if you haven't, there's still a teeny bit of room, and you can still join us for those. And in 3 weeks, we're going to be going out to our cemetery. And it's by tradition that on the 1st of Elul, which is actually a month before Rosh Hashanah, that prayers are said for those that we have lost. So even though you can't go back to your cemetery, wherever you might be necessarily, we're going to be doing it here at our cemetery and offer those kinds of prayers that will then go everywhere and throughout the world. And anything else that you want to? I know you've been saying, my friend, an unbelievable singer, Eliana, is coming. Well, she's here.
She's here. Yay. So we're so excited to have Eliana with us. And I really, I felt that everyone took Eliana's messages to heart, because a group of this size, I have never heard such confidence, such vocal confidence than I have tonight. And I loved hearing you all sing out after taking Eliana's workshop. I was really, really impressed, and I hope that carries with you forever. So thank you, Eliana, for all of your wisdom, and we are so looking forward to tomorrow. Please keep a look in your inboxes for information about religious school registration. If you know anybody that you think would like to join us, we would love to have them. That'll be coming out sometime next week. I can't believe that is all starting back again.
I know.
And I can't believe it's August. That just is mind-blowing to me.
But the high holidays will be amazing.
Yes.
This is the one year we can go back to the Ford Amphitheater because it won't snow yet. So we do have it booked, and if you have never been to a service in there, you've been to Bravo and everything else, but you've got to see what the high holidays are like there. So if you weren't planning on coming back, you can still get good airfare and come back and join us. We'd love to have you with us. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you on the mountain tomorrow. And the warning is bring water, bug spray, sunscreen, and it could be a bit chilly. It's supposed to be 45 degrees tomorrow morning. So all of you Texans that worry about that, it's going to be a little chilly at the beginning. What's that? Floridians too, that's true. Well, it's 105 in Texas. I have no idea what it is in Boca.
What about wimpy Coloradans?
Okay. Let's return to our prayer books. Chop House.
I think it's sold. I think it's.
It is sold out. If you have
already.
reservations at 8:30 at the Chop House.
Yes.
And if you'd like for me, told someone I'm going to bring a couple bagels out illegally. So just come see me and we'll give you something
Bagel
else.
smuggling, Rabbi.
Yes.
I can't believe it.
Page 60 as we rise and join together, Aleinu. It's our Torah.
Aleinu l'shaveach la'adon hakol, la'teit gedula le'otzer b'reshit, shalo asanu k'goyei haratzot, ve'lo samanu k'mishpachot adama, shalo samach v'keinu kahem,
וגור עלינו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. At this moment, in memory of our loved ones who are no longer with us, we join hands in love and remembrance. A link has been broken in the chain that bound us together, yet strong bonds of home and love hold us one to another. In solemn testimony to that unbroken faith which links the generations one to another, we call to mind whose yahrzeit we observe this month. Adele Abrams, Mark Albert, Charles Barrison, Jack Balin, Shirley Belcher, Jules Braunstein, Francis Cerny, Ruth Cohen, Helen Cohn, Cantor Stephen Dubov, Richard Eisel, Lillian Ettinger, Irving Fielden, Jay Fishman, Nathan Fleischman, Beatrice Fliegelman, H. Mitchell Fox, Bernice Doris Garland, Ada Goldman, Fred Goldsmith, Florence Goldstein, Louis Grossman, Yvette Held, Emil Hess, Teresa Ixosa, Eileen Joseph, Linda Kahn, Soramini Kaluchkin, Saul Kaufman, Susan Kaufman, Dorothy Keller, Kitty Koplovic, David Landau, Felix Landau, Solomon Landau, Sylvia Lantzman, Arthur Langsam, Paula Lessing, Leo Levy, Samuel Levine, Philip Leibowitz, Ermi Liedenfeld, Heller, Florian Linz, Beverly Lopatin, William Benjamin Marks, Michael Marks, Bernard Melvin Shapiro, J. George Mitnick, Robert Morris, Joe Seltzer Moskowitz, Sarah Mossman, Claire Numeroff, Dorothy Nurick Landau, Erwin Raymer, Martin Rosen, Lillian Rosenblatt, Leo Rothenberg, Shep Saperstein, Judy Schechner, Ernest Scheller III, Morris Shore, Erwin Schwabe, Edwin Aaron Schwartz, Juliet Siegel, Zeke Siegel, and Morris Shane, William Sigmund, Donald Steinberg, Mitchell Stensler, Leonard Stern, Margaret Stringer, Edith Swirsky, Pauline Wolf, and Jules Wolfen. If anyone else is observing Yahrzeit this month. Thank you. The Mourner's Kaddish can be found in our prayer books on page 64. And those who wish may join with us as we say, Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayei chon v'yomei chon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agalav v'zman kariv v'imramein. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam omei omaya, yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, yitzadar v'yitzalev v'yitalal shemei d'kudisha brechu. Le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'yalma v'imramein. Yehi shlomo rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imramein. Oseh shalom v'imramav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imramein. May be seated. We're starting to put in the newsletter the names of those as Jeannie can catch up with them, of the people that are pillars and have contributed a little bit above dues. So please be patient. It takes time to collect all of it. We have to not only take the information of who you are, but all your yahrzeits back into our database, and we'll just be updating that every single week. But we thank you for your generosity. When I came here, there were 12, and now we're up to 75 so far, and last year we were 135, and that's what allows us to do so many wonderful things. You're ending with what instead of a Don Olam?
Well, after we do Kiddush and Motzi, we'll do Bim Bam.
Something secret, okay.
But it's a Bim Bam.
Please rise for a closing blessing.
Secret Bim Bam.
A secret Bim Bam that will be just like the other Bim Bam. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei Peri Hagafen L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon.
And I was just told, who's on a cruise?
The Finkelsteins are watching from their cruise.
Well, hi on the
Yay,
cruise.
Shabbat shalom.
Okay. And all the other people across the country that are watching us,
Hi, Mom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom,
I hope not.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat 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 shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Yalla boy 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 boy. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
It started 5 minutes ago. Wait, it did?
Well, I told him, I was like, I will not be there at 7. I will start.
And that's where we're going.
Yeah, well, kind of. I think you're going to like the adjacent restaurant.
Okay.
Because I think Cheryl's worried that there weren't enough options at